Here's Brody Brazil.
Just a quick plug for the YouTube voicemail phone number, 8334-BRODY. If you've got something to say, leave a message, just like this one.
Hey, this is Isaac from Minnesota, watching us have the worst possible trade deadline you could have, as a fan at least.
Yeah.
Not if you're one of the Pohlads trying to make a couple $billion off of the Twins. I don't see how you're going to do that when you trade off, let's see, Willi Castro, Jhoan Duran, Chris Paddock, Carlos Correa, Danny Colomb, Harrison Bader, Brock Stewart, Griffin Jax, and Louis Varland. You're trading off the entire team that's worth a damn. How are you going to plan on selling the Twins for almost $2 billion with no good players left on it? That is utterly insane. You know, maybe one of these random prospects is going to turn out. One of the guys that we trade, I don't know, Jhoan Duran for a bag of chips or something. Who knows? Hopefully it turns out well. Hopefully the Pohlads are gone. Hopefully they give up at least, a couple bucks off their asking price now that they got rid of everyone.
Isaac, I appreciate the call. I understand your feelings right now. Remember, I used to cover the Oakland A's for many years and decades and saw similar things, but I do think this is different. Isaac, to your point, and by the way, for those who don't know, the Pohlad family are owners of the Minnesota Twins, and they have been trying to sell the team now for about 10 years. Unsuccessfully, they thought they had a potential buyer, then that person backed out and went to actually investing more in the Chicago White Sox, but I digress. Isaac, I'm actually here to not just agree with you. I just want to paint the picture even bigger for everybody to understand this. You named all the names right there. Of all the players gone, it brings me to wondering, are the Twins basically tanking? Did they just demolish their roster because of financial considerations and the business side of baseball, not because they thought these players couldn't be successful this year or next year if they added to it? Did they just completely wipe this off the map because of the money side? And because they think, the owners of the team, the Pohlad family, they think this will make a sale and a transaction happen easier. Maybe they got that feedback in the last 10 months that, hey, we want to buy the team, but we're asking, kind of make a bid for something a little bit lower. So maybe this is a way to lower the sale price of the team, make the sale go through quicker, to kind of lighten up, basically, to slim down this team and its payroll to make a sale go through even easier. Maybe that's the feedback they heard from buyers, right? Because this is kind of an entry-level purchase now. We'll cut the price of the team, and when you buy this team, your player payroll is not going to be, $194 million. Now your player payroll is going to be $94 million. We're shaving off what you would owe to buying into this team, $100 million a year to start off, and then you can build it back your way, but we're going to make this sale easier to happen. Does that make sense? 9 players from the 26-man roster, like most of the bullpen here, 9 players from a 26-man roster just got traded away at the deadline. This is a team, by the way, that, as I'm recording this, 5.5 games out of a playoff spot. Yeah, 5.5 games out of a wild card spot, and there's basically 2 months to play. We're at the trade deadline. There's all of August. There's basically all of September. 2 full months of the season, 5.5 games out. I get it. That's a longer shot than you'd want, but still a shot. It takes a week or two of getting hot and somebody else struggling. You're right there. So not only is this season toast, but the future now looks super bleak. Again, I mentioned the team has been up for sale for 10 months. What if the team just went up for sale? Maybe today, and the fire sale of the Minnesota Twins wouldn't have happened. It leads me to thinking that because the team has been up for sale longer than most would have wanted, longer than most would have expected. Even the commissioner, Rob Manfred, recently during the All-Star break was asked about this, hey, what's going on? Do you have any input? And, his message was, it's going to happen. It's just taking time, but we want it to happen, and we're going to, do what we can to make it happen, to put this team in the hands of somebody else who probably wants to invest in it. But that's not where we're at now. We're at the point where somebody wants to get rid of it and do it quickly, and maybe they think this will expedite that process. Oh, by the way, the publication, The Athletic, as in the one that's co-established with the New York Times, The Athletic reported right before the start of this baseball season, I've done a video on this too, that the Twins were $425 million in debt. So add in all these things together. And Isaac, I know what you were saying. Like this is the point of what I wanted to do. I wanted to agree with you, but I also wanted to really build out the whole picture here so you can see exactly what's going on and make some better sense of this. So you've got a team that's been up for sale unsuccessfully. You've got a team that is reportedly $425 million in debt. You also have a team that lost a ton of revenue on an annual basis to the tune of maybe $40, $50, $60 million a year. Bally Sports North, their longtime television partner of the Minnesota Twins, they just went bankrupt. The Minnesota Twins took on their own broadcast operations for this season. And the reason that's significant is not because the Twins can do well in selling their own product. And in the long term, honestly, that's the way to go. And they will be fine with that in the long term. But the problem is right here, right now, they were getting a large sum of money, probably, if I'm doing this right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 8-figure deal, like a big 8-figure deal. 40, 50, 60, 70 million bucks, who knows what their TV deal was. They don't get that money anymore every single year, not just for 1 year, but for all the years now. They don't have a TV partner. They do their own thing. They were in a kind of like a plush situation. Just cashing checks. Here, show our games on TV. We'll take your money. Now they don't have that. So in debt, the revenue isn't the same. Can't sell the team. Just dumped off a ton of salary. This was a salary dump. This is a team that is, for all intents and purposes, how can you not use the word tanking? They'll say they had no choice. And I get it. They did get some prospects and some names and considerations in return. But this is a situation not where the baseball side goes to ownership and says, hey, I think we should like reshuffle the deck. This is ownership saying, you're going to reshuffle our deck now. And that's what happens here. And that's terribly unfortunate. Not just if you're a player on the Twins or in that organization, like what do the next couple of years look like? But if you are a Twins fan, I am feeling for you right now. Let me know what you think about all this in the comment section below. Also, thumbs up while you're down there. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button. I would love to see you here on the channel next time.